Hello everybody and welcome back to Games for Dads and another top 10 video. Today we are going to be looking at the top 10 tiny deck cards. We've got a few rules for this one. The power or the energy cost has got to be between 0 and 3. So this is the top 10 tiny deck cards. Okay, let's start then. This is going to be cool. At number 10, we have got the European Hamster. 1 for 8. He's a rare, limited. On the play, the card opposite this loses -22 this turn, and your cards adjacent to this gain +11 this turn. So fantastic for a tiny deck. That's the European Hamster. A life on land cards, and you will notice there's a lot of life on land cards that fall into this top 10. So great. Start there, the European Hamster. At number 9, we have got Dwarf. 3 for 0, another life on lands card. An epic limited this one. On the play, your cards in hand gain +15 and your opponent's cards in hand lose -30 this time. So basically that's 3 for 90. Awesome card, and if you're playing a tiny deck with a load of life on land buffs, he's going to become super powerful. So number 9 in our charts of the tiny deck cards is Dwarf. Number 8, everybody probably knows this card. 0 cost for 1, but on the draw, your opponent's cards in hand with 50 or more base power lose -4 and cost -1 energy for 2 turns. Super card, especially when you're going up against some big decks. I love to put this one in a tiny deck, and he's made our charts at number 8. So number 8 in the tiny decks goes to Power of 0. And that one is an epic fusion card, so dead easy to get that one. Number 7, what a cool card this is. Another life on lands card. This is CHEETAH. I think that's how you say it. That little cute doggy there. 2 for 12. And on the return, if your deck has 14 or more life on land cards, your life on land cards, wherever they are, gain 18 for 2 turns. So pretty useful. As I said, loads of life on land cards. So if you are going to build a tiny deck, then this one is definitely worth putting in that tiny deck. So 2 for 12, limited legendary, so a little bit difficult to get, but definitely worth hunting down. Number 6 in the tiny decks, CHEETAH. 1 for 0, probably everybody knows this one. Fantastic card. On the return, this card gains +6 and costs +1 energy permanently. So if you cycle him around a couple of times, then he's going to become a super powerful card. And again, he is a life on lands card, so that's going to be great for your tiny deck. So he makes number 6 in our tiny deck top 10. That's CHEETAH. As I said, limited epic. Cool card, that one. Okay, number 5. FRILLED Dragon, another limited legendary card. 2 for 22 this one, and on the return, your base cards, wherever they are, with 1 or less base energy, gain +22 until played. So depending on how you've built your deck, this card is going to give you some super energy gain and some super power, I should say. That's the FRILLED Dragon, making our charts at number 5. There he is. What a cool picture as well. And another life on land card. Like I said, there's loads of life on land cards here. Number 4, a Christmas Carol, a fusion card. 1 for 180. Massive score on this card. On the draw, your cards, wherever they are, cost +1 until play. So that's the only downside. But if you are building a tiny deck, you're probably going to have loads of energy to play with. But he definitely makes our chart at number 4, a Christmas Carol. Super card. Great card to have in your tiny deck. Okay, what is at number 3? Let's move on. Number 3 is Binary. 1 for 0. What a fantastic card this is. You definitely need this if you're building a tiny deck. On the draw, your cards, wherever they are, with 2 or less base energy, gain +22 for 4 turns. Absolutely amazing card. Fits in all tiny decks, I would say. And really low cost, 1 for 0, and that's a limited legendary. It is really difficult to get Binary, but I will try and get him if you're looking to build a tiny deck. Number 2, another super cool card, another science card. This is Cloning. 2 for 22, and on the play, all cards in both players' hands with 22 or less base power gain 22 until played. So that's a super card. Another limited legendary. That's the cloning card. Interesting picture, that one. But he does make our charts at number 2 for the tiny deck cards. Good luck finding that one as well. Okay, before we give you number 1, as always, we're going to do a few honourable mentions. I don't know if you've worked out what number 1 is yet, but anyhow, here are the honourable mentions for the tiny deck. Golden ratio, 1 for 16, so he falls into that category. Just a legendary card. If your deck has 11 or more science cards, your life on land cards, wherever they are, gain plus 19 until played. So you can really build a tiny deck around this card, or in fact any deck around this card, but a tiny deck around the golden ratio is a really good starting point. As I said, 1 for 16, and you need 11 science cards in your hand, and then your other 7 life on land cards, if you've gone that way, are going to get 19 until played. Another honourable mention then goes to... Dun, dun, dun. Let's see what the next one is. Goblin. 2 for 15. Super card, this one. Definitely worth an honourable mention. On the draw, your cards, wherever they are, with 1 or less base energy, gain plus 10 and cost plus 1 until played. So he's really going to help you. That's your cards, wherever they are going to get 10 until played. So that's pretty useful. You're going to buff up all your cards. So definitely worth considering for a tiny deck, and definitely worth an honourable mention in the tiny decks countdown. The next honourable mention we have got is Infinity, an Ultra Fusion card. This one sounds a bit weird. 1 for 23, so not bad points. On the return, all cards, wherever they are, lose minus 50 next turn. So dead useful if your tiny deck is going up against a high power deck and you can afford to lose 50 on some of your little cards. You could do some real serious damage to your opponent. So that's Infinity. Definitely in my opinion is worth an honourable mention. As always, everybody probably has their own ideas on what should and shouldn't be included, but here's another honourable mention. Emperor Scorpion, 2 for 15. It's a rare limited card, and I like this one because on the play your cards adjacent to this gain plus 16 this turn, and I also like it because it is a life on land card, and making a tiny deck with these is going to give it some really good buffs. So honourable mention for the Emperor Scorpion. Another honourable mention goes to the Galapagos Tortoises. Well, if you've checked out the Darwin video, then you'll know why this card is so good. 1 for 4, and on the draw, if your deck has 6 or more life on land cards, your science cards, wherever they are, gain plus 13 until played. So you can really definitely pair him up with a golden ratio and build a tiny science stroke life on lands deck that's going to suddenly give you some really powerful buffs as you go through the game. So definitely worth an honourable mention, the Galapagos Tortoises. And Cheetah, 3 for 88. Does absolutely nothing, this card, but 3 for 88 in a tiny deck. This can buff up absolutely massively, so well worth considering putting this one in, but definitely worth an honourable mention. He is a limited legendary, which is unusual for a card that does absolutely nothing, but it's because of 3 for 88. Great card. Haven't got that one yet. Another honourable mention goes to the Sydney Opera House. Another 3 for 12, and on the play your cards in hand gain plus 10 this turn, and your opponent's cards in hand lose minus 10 this turn. So basically that's another 60 points to your turn. So the effective score of that is 3 for 72 plus any other buffs you can add to it. So definitely worth an honourable mention. Cool card. Okay, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving on to number 1 in our tiny deck countdown. Have you guessed what it is? Eros. There you go. What an amazing card this is. You can build anything around this. 2 for 11. And on the play, if your deck has exactly 2 Arts and Cultures card, give those cards wherever they are plus 20 power until played. And why is it so good? Because you repeat this for every other album. So if you're using all 7 albums and you've got 2 cards from 6 of those, 12 of your cards are going to get plus 20. So that's 240 until play extra power. So fantastic card. If you're going to build something, do consider building a tiny deck around Eros, because it would do you really well. Anyhow, that's our top 10. I'm sure everybody's got their own ideas, so please do leave your list in the comments below. I'm really interested to find out what people think. and let us know if you think we've missed out a card that should be in that top 10. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will be back very soon with another video. Take care. Bye.